everybody! It's the Van Show! Welcome. And today we have a very special guest. It's Dev Petty. Say hello, Dev!
Hello, Van. Hello, everybody.
Hey!
Thank you for having me.
So, Dev, first of all, tell everybody where you're from.
I'm from Berkeley, California, so I live really close to where I grew up, which is funny, and so does my husband. And so I'm a Berkeley native, and my kids go to Berkeley schools. I'm all Berkeley all the time. I lived elsewhere for a little while, and yeah, that's where I'm from. San Francisco Bay Area all the way.
So tell us one thing that you love about the Berkeley area.
Oh, well, the food is like kind of unparalleled, but there's also just amazing people, beautiful trees. We live up in the hills, and we have owls and squirrels and raccoons and a whole ecosystem and hawks. And I love Berkeley, and I can hear the clock tower from Cal chime the campanile every hour. It's fabulous. Love my house.
Now, I want to ask you about something.
Yes.
Something that may be a little bit scary.
Okay.
But something that I remember about Berkeley.
Yes.
Is there was a big earthquake around that area.
There was.
Yeah, back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I hear, you were there when that happened. Is that right?
I was, and our big bridge that spans from Oakland to San Francisco, very big bridge, has a tunnel between, a mountain. It broke in the earthquake and broke into a couple pieces. It actually was, most people were okay on the bridge, but I was on it coming home from San Francisco when it broke. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was, and this was before cell phones or texting or even really anything. There was no way to tell anybody that I was just fine. And there was a lot of waiting and helicopters, and it meant that they came in and we got to turn around on the Bay Bridge, and I got to drive the wrong way on the Bay Bridge for a while.
Well, there's your silver lining.
Right, and go over the hill, and then it ended up heading into San Francisco with the sun setting, and I was all by myself, usually in the middle of terrible traffic. So it was neat, and then I was stuck in San Francisco. Wild time.
Whoa. Dev,
yes.
You're here because you're an author.
I am, I think. I hear.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is verifiable.
Yes.
And so we want to know a little bit about that. The first thing I'd like to know is
okay.
How long ago did you start writing?
I started writing, I think it was about in 2012. I was pretty late to the game because I was working visual effects all that time. And it happened really fast for me. I can't say that I had a big, long journey and worked at this. Honestly, I started writing, I got an agent, I sold a book. And then I had to learn what I was actually doing after that, which was kind of odd. Sort of build the plane while it's in the air.
Yeah.
So I haven't been writing that long, but I'm working on it.
But I imagine that you seem like a natural storyteller, so I would imagine that that's something that you've been working on for a longer time.
Well, I think so. I mean, I was a weird mix. I was a political science major, and then I was a visual effects artist, and then I was this. But mostly I'm just a weird kid from Berkeley, and I have a lot of strange ideas, and people pay me to write them down, and it's kind of killer.
That's awesome.
I'm being honest.
Yeah, just living the dream.
It is, kind of. I dig it.
Writing a book as an author,
mm-hmm.
but coming from a background in illustration, do you find that sometimes that informs your writing?
It certainly does. And honestly, if I was better at telling a story with my art, I might do it. But I'm good at color and light and composition and shape, and not at expressions or anything like that. It's not I. So it does inform it, though, and being in the movies, because movies are all about timing, and picture books are like little paper movies. So that's all about timing too, and turns, and telling a story from front to back, and it really helps. I love it.
So now, Dev, tell us a little bit about your new book. Okay.
So I have a book called How Old Is Mr Tortoise, and there's actually a big giant tortoise that lives on an island, and he's they think 190 years old.
Whoa.
His name is Jonathan, and he really exists. And I started thinking about that. I was like, that's so funny. I mean, there were people wearing knickers and that didn't even barely have cars when he was about. And I started thinking about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a really fun book.
And so how many books would you say you've published?
I have 7 out, and I think 5 coming, but two near. coming. So this one, How Old Is Mr Tortoise, which is illustrated by Ruth Chan in this amazing kind of graphic novel format. Like kids they're just gonna love it. It's so sharp.
Yeah.
And then before that I have Don't Eat Bees, Life Lessons from Chip the Dog, and that's sort of autobiographical. I didn't eat the bees, but dogs eat bees.
I've seen some pictures on the internet. Poor guys.
Yeah, this is why they don't have computers and credit cards. And then after that, I have a Christmas book, which is called Elmore the Christmas Moose. And then some other stuff that I can't talk about yet, which is very
secret
fun.
Stuff.
Secret, super cool, double secret stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to ask you about one other book that you've done.
Okay.
And this one is illustrated in a way I don't think I've ever seen before.
I know.
It's done with clay sculptures.
Yeah. So that's Claymates, which is a little brown book, and it was illustrated by my friend Lauren Eldridge. And we actually barely knew each other and decided that we just wanted to work together. And so I cooked up this idea and somehow explained it to her, which is difficult because it's weird. Even for me, it's weird. And she loved it, and I loved it, and we decided to just do it. And she only illustrates photographically, dimensionally. And so we actually, to sell it, we did the whole thing. Instead of, we didn't write a prospectus, we just did the whole thing, sent it in, it got acquired, and then we had to do the whole thing again.
Oh.
But it was super fun, and in the process of this, we became sort of like best friends, just like the two characters in it become friends. So it's kind of all about how art and play and experimentation leads to amazing things.
But I do want to play a game with you before we go.
All right.
So the game we're going to play today is Truth or Dare.
Ooh, I'm gonna go. I'm feeling adventurous. I'm gonna go with Dare.
Oh, all right.
I know.
Yeah, well, I like it.
Yeah.
And I would expect nothing less.
Well, then we don't know each other well. But okay, hit me.
All right.
What are we doing?
So we're gonna play a game called Fortunately, Unfortunately. So
Fortunately, it's your birthday. Here's a beautiful shiny red balloon. Bloop.
Unfortunately, I just touched a cactus and I got a prickle in my finger and it popped the balloon. Boop.
Oh, well, but fortunately, now you have this fun piece of colorful, shiny rubber that you can make a bow tie out of.
Oh, very cool.
Well, fortunately, that must mean you're in Spain. Spain's nice, I hear, this time of year.
But unfortunately...
Still bowls? Problem?
I'm trying to think here.
Okay.
I don't know a lot about Spain, but...
Good food.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, but unfortunately, you have arrived at the worst restaurant in Spain, the only one that has terrible food.
Okay. Fortunately, it's in a beautiful place overlooking the beautiful beach, and the sun is setting. All is well in the universe.
But unfortunately...
I'm backing you into a corner here.
I know. No, you got me.
All right.
Yeah, well done.
Woo!
Yeah, thanks, Deb. That was great.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.